Dan, I mean, I can only put myself in your shoes and imagine what it's like. But I mean, is it real mixed emotions when you end up taking a call from a big club who wants to nick one of your players? You know, there's obviously a part of you that thinks, you'd really like to keep them at the club because it's good for the team. But then, is there a sense of pride, the fact that you've been personally involved in their development as well, when you're sort of seeing them kick on? How does that kind of work in your mind, Dan?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think great question. I think it's pride. You know, it has to be pride, and again, it goes back to us all being aligned and knowing what we're about at this moment. And ideally, we want to keep our best players long term and grow as a football club. And if we're going to grow, we're going to have to do that. And we want to keep people in the building. And if we can't keep them in the building, we want to. If they leave the building, we want something for them. We want a fee for that. And we had boys leave on non-contract, so we don't get nothing for that. So we get a pat on the back and a tick to say well done, and you've helped these players, and we take pride in that, and I use that personally. I think that's, I really like that. It's really pleasing for me to see someone kick. I love people being successful, and whether that be within my management team, my physio team, my media team, or the club, and players. I want people to thrive. I want people to do well, and I've had my time as a youngster. I'm now a bit older, and why would I stand in anyone's way of trying to move up the ladder and do well and earn a career and earn money in football, or have the luxury of being a full-time footballer? So I'm comfortable in that, and the football club's comfortable in that. But we are aware that we need to try and make sure we either get something for that in terms of their development, so we get some compensation or a fee or something back into our football club, because then that helps our football club grow, and that gets us a step closer to being the club that keeps its players and stuff. But you have to be realistic, because it's like a food chain, is it? People will take my players, and then I go and it's probably more worry for the managers in the league below if someone goes out of Averley to go higher, because we start looking down below to
Yeah,
go, who you got down there? So, and that's how it works. But then they would look below, and that's how it works, isn't it? Players
yeah.
jump up a level, sometimes two levels in the norm, and I think you have to accept it. And I think I'm old enough now not to get too frustrated with it. It's tough, and the initial reaction is to go, oh right, okay, what we got? Who's in the building that could step into them shoes, or who do we need to bring in the building to do that? But I think it's all I say to the players, that they've moved on. That could be you next, and that helps with our recruitment. That might be you. You've stepped in their shoes. You could be the next one that goes up the level. So one door closes, another one opens for another player, and I think that's been proven over the last couple of years with boys moving through us, and hopefully we can do that again this season. And nothing would give me more pleasure than watching people be successful with us. And then if they move on and to higher things and better things, then why not?